And now, Andrew Does Everything proudly presents Cinderella, based on the story of Cinderella. Once upon a time, there lived a young girl named Cinderella. Cinderella had 5 ugly, mean stepsisters named Tasha, Hannah, Rena, and the twins Ellie and Emmy. Tasha, Hannah, Rena, Ellie, and Esme made Cinderella do all the chores. Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all, said Tasha, Hannah, Rena, Ellie, and Emmy all together. One day, the king of Tripleville's messenger said, Hear ye, the king of Tripleville is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Stripling. But Cinderella is not welcome. Her stepsisters are... Tasha said, He's going to marry me. Hannah said, No way, Tasha. He's going to marry me. Rena said, Both of you are wrong. He's going to marry me. Ellie said, All 3 of you are wrong. He's going to marry me. Emmy said, Are you kidding, sister? He's going to marry me. Later, Cinderella is so sad because she cannot go to the ball. Suddenly, Cinderella's fairy godmother asks what's wrong. Why are you crying, Cinderella? She asks. Cinderella responds, I can't go to the ball and marry Prince Stripling. The fairy godmother said, I can help with a bit of magic. She waved her magic wand and chanted the magic word. Triply, trappily, triply, true. And then Cinderella's chores are all done, but the fairy godmother said she's not done. He then said, Cinderella, go fetch me a good old pumpkin. Luckily, Cinderella has 3 pumpkins. The fairy godmother waved her magic wand and chanted the magic word, triply, trappily, troppily, true. And then the 3 pumpkins turned into a handsome coach drawn by 6 strong horses. And then Cinderella's do-rag and red dress turned into a gown and crown. Cinderella said, I've never seen such a triple-tastic crown and gown. And get a load of my glass slippers. The fairy godmother said, Have fun, Cinderella, but I would warn you. Return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken. Cinderella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Stripling was wondering who he should marry. Tasha, Hannah, Rena, Ellie, and Emmy say all together, He's walking towards me! But he's not walking towards any of them. But he's walking towards Cinderella. Cinderella and Prince Stripling dance together. But later, Cinderella realized it's almost midnight, so she scurried out of the ball. And she's running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. Prince Stripling was so worried. He afraid that he might never see Cinderella again. So he traveled around Tripleville to find her and brought the tiny glass slipper with him. He knocked on the door of the house where Cinderella and her ugly, mean stepsisters lived. Ladies, I have a favor to ask. Can you try on this glass slipper? Tasha first. Hannah second. Rena third, and the twins last, but none of their feet fit. Suddenly, Prince Stripling noticed Cinderella singing. She exclaimed, Prince Stripling, is that you? Prince Stripling said, Of course it's me. Cinderella gets so excited because she's happy to have Prince Tripling back. And he doesn't need to put on the glass slipper back on Cinderella's foot because it's so uncomfortable. And they both live happily ever after. The end. And now introducers. Introducing they proudly presents Cinderella. It is based on the story of Cinderella. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon a time, there was a young girl named Cinderella. Cinderella had 3 ugly, mean stepsisters named Sophia, Isabella, and Xavier. Sophia, Isabella, and Xavier made Cinderella do all the chores. Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all, said Sophia, Isabella, and Xavier all together. Then one day, the king of Sextuple-Hand's messenger said, "Hear ye, hear ye! The king of Sextuple-Hand is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Sextuple." But Cinderella is not welcome. Her stepsisters are. Sophia said, "He's going to marry me." Isabella said, "No way, Sophia, you're wrong. He's going to marry me." Xavier said, "Both of you are wrong. He's going to marry me." Later, Cinderella is so sad, doing chores while her fairy godmother asks her what's wrong by saying, "Why are you crying, Cinderella?" Cinderella responds, "I have lots of chores to be done, but I can't go to the ball and marry Princess Toppling." Her fairy godmother said, "I can help with a bit of magic." Cinderella's fairy godmother waves her magic wand. Because of the 6 other chores are all done. But her fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, "Cinderella, go fetch me a pumpkin." Luckily, Cinderella has 6 pumpkins. Cinderella's fairy godmother waves her magic wand again to turn the 6 pumpkins into a handsome coach. And then drawn by 12 strong horses, and then Cinderella's clothes into a gown and crown. Cinderella said, "I've never seen such a sextuple-tastic gown, and get a load of my glass slippers. Fairy godmother, how can I ever thank you enough?" Her fairy godmother said, "Well, you can't. But have fun, Cinderella, but I would warn you, return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken, and everything will change back to the way it was before." Cinderella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Sextuple was wondering who he should marry. Sophia, Isabella, and Xavier all together, "He's walking towards me." But he's not walking towards any of them. Prince Sextuple is walking towards Cinderella. "May I have this dance?" As Prince Sextuple, Cinderella responds, "I would be delighted." Prince Sextuple and Cinderella dance happily together, but later, Cinderella realized it's almost midnight. So she scurried out of the ball, and she was running so fast that she lost both of her glass slippers. Prince Sextuple was so worried that he might never see Cinderella again. He then traveled around Sextuple-Hand to find her, and brought the 2 glass slippers with him. By the time he arrives, he knocked on the door of the house. where Cinderella, Sophia, Isabella, and Xavier lived. But instead of Cinderella, he finds Sophia, Isabella, and Xavier. Princess Tumbling said, "Ladies, I have a favor to ask. Can you go try on these glass slippers? Sophia is first, but her feet are too big. Isabella is next, but her feet are too small. Xavier was last, but her feet didn't fit either." Suddenly, Princess Tumbling notices Cinderella's sweet singing. Cinderella then gets so excited because she's having her Princess Tumbling back. And Princess Tumbling doesn't have to put the 2 glass slippers back on her feet because they're so uncomfortable. And then Princess Tumbling and Cinderella lived happily ever after. The end. Andrew's Drew, if you want to see some sequels, tell your friends about it. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share and buy our merchandise. Oh, look at that! And if we time it just right, it's 6 minutes and 6 seconds. And now, Andrew Knows Everything proudly presents Cinderella. It is based on the story of Cinderella. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon a time, there was a young girl named Cinderella. Cinderella had 6 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters named Tina, Winona, Elena, Lana, Verona, and Ella. Tina, Winona, Elena, Lana, Verona, and Ella made Cinderella do all the chores. "Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all!" said Tina, Winona, Elena, Lana, Verona, and Ella all together. One day, the king of Twelville's messengers arrives and says, "Hear ye, hear ye! The king of Twelville is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Stuart Coupling." But Cinderella is not welcome. Her stepsisters are. They then argue over who will Prince Stuart Coupling marry. Later, Cinderella is so sad about not going to the ball and marry Prince Stuart Coupling while doing chores. Suddenly, her fairy godmother asks Cinderella what's wrong by saying, "Why are you crying, Cinderella?" So, in which Cinderella responds, "I can't go to the ball and marry Prince Stuart Coupling." Cinderella's fairy godmother says, "I can help with a bit of magic," and waves her magic wand. And because of that, Cinderella's chores are all done. But her fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, "Cinderella, go fetch me a pumpkin." Luckily, Cinderella has 12 pumpkins. Cinderella's fairy godmother waves her magic wand again to turn the 12 pumpkins into a handsome coach drawn by 24 strong horses, and then Cinderella's ripped clothes and do-rag into a gown and crown. Cinderella said, "I've never seen such a cobble-tastic gown. Get a load of my glass slippers. How can I ever thank you enough?" Cinderella's fairy godmother said, "Well, you can't. But have fun, Cinderella, but I would warn you. Return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken, and everything will change back to the way it was before." Cinderella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Tudacuntling was wondering who he should marry. Tina, Winona, Elena, Lana, Verona, and Ella say all together, "He's walking towards me!" But he's not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards 12-Arella. "May I have this dance?" asks Prince Duo coupling. 12-Arella responds, "I would be delighted." Prince Duo coupling and 12-Arella dance happily together. But later, 12-Arella realizes it's almost midnight. So she scurried out of the ball, and she was running so fast that she lost both her glass slippers. Prince Duo coupling was so worried that he might never see 12-Arella again. So he traveled all around 12ville to find her and brought the 2 glass slippers with him. By the time he arrives, he knocks on the door of the home where 12-Arella and her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters lived. But instead of 12-Arella, he finds Tina, Winona, Elena, Lana, Verona, and Ella. Prince Duo coupling then said, "Ladies, I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try on this glass slipper?" Tina is first, but her foot is too big. Winona is next, but her foot is too small. The rest did the same, but none of their feet are the right size. Suddenly, Prince Duo coupling notices 12-Arella singing. The glass slippers fit! 12-Arella gets so excited because she's happy to have Prince Duo coupling back. And then 12-Arella and Prince Duo coupling lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you're enjoying this story, Andrews Doers. And if you want to see some more sequels or Cinderella parodies, tell your friends about it. And I bet you're not gonna, I don't know. I bet you're gonna have a ball. And I must say, don't lose a shoe. Take care. Bye. Andrews Doers. Andrew Knows Everything roundly presents 33rella for the Frieza 1300 episode special. As the title suggests, it is based on the story of Cinderella with a bit of a twist. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon a time, there was a young woman girl named 33rella. 33rella had 11 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters named Tasha, Hilda, Isabella, Ramona, Tanya, Irina, Tilly, Hallie, Ruby, Erin, and Emily. All 11 of them made fun of 33rella and made her do all the chores. 33, wench! Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all, said Tasha to Emily all together. One day, the king of Troubleville's messenger arrives and says, "Hear ye, hear ye! The king of Troubleville's royal majesty is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Treasure Toppling." "Can I come?" asked 33rella. But she is not welcome. Her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters are. "He's going to marry me," said Tasha, the oldest stepsister. But her younger stepsisters disagree. They even tear 33rella's dress. And her best party dress. Later, 33rella is so sad, distraught, and upset about not going to the ball, marrying Prince Treasure Toppling. Suddenly, her fairy godmother rises and comforts her. 33 Rella. There now, my dear. 33 Rella, she said. I'll fix everything for you. She then waves her magic wand. Because of that, 33 Rella's chores are all done. But her fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, 33 Rella, my dear, go fetch me a pumpkin and some ice. Luckily, 33 Rella has 33 pumpkins and 66 mice. 33 Rella, fairy godmother waves her magic wand again to turn the 33 pumpkins into a handsome coach. The 66 mice into horses and fixes 33 Rella's torn dress and makes it bigger and better. 33 Rella said, I've never seen such a trigotal-tastic gown. And get a load of my glass slippers, fairy godmother. How can I ever thank you enough? And climbed into the coach. 33 Rella's fairy godmother said, well, you can't, but have fun, 33 Rella, my dear. But I would warn you, return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken, and everything will change back to the way it was before. Anne gave her a clock to tell her what time it is. And so, 33 Rella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, the king of Treble, who is very kind, wise, etc., says, good evening, everyone. My son, Prince Tritupling, was wondering who he should marry. Isn't that right, son? In which Prince Tritupling responds, yes, father. Suddenly, 33 Rella arrived at the ball just in time. He's walking towards me, say Tasha, Hilda, Isabella, Ramona, Tanya, Irina, Hallie, Ruby, Aaron, and Emily all together. But Prince Tritupling is not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards 33 Rella. Prince Tritupling then says, may I have this dance? In which 33 Rella responds, I would be delighted. And so 33 Rella and Prince Tritupling dance happily together. But later, 33 Rella checks her clock, and it's almost midnight. So she scurried out of the ball, and she was running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. Prince Tritupling was really worried that he might never see 33 Rella again. The king of Trebleville comforts him by saying, there now, son. I think we'll be able to find 33 Rella, my dear daughter-in-law. And so, the king of Trebleville and Prince Tritupling began their journey all around Trebleville to find 33 Rella and brought the glass slipper she lost with them. By the time they arrived, they knock on the door of the house where 33 Rella and her 11 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters lived. But instead of 33 Rella, they find her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters, Tasha and Emily. Prince Tritupling then said, ladies, my father, the king of Trebleville, and I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try on this glass slipper? Tasha is first, but her foot is too big. Hilda is next, but her foot is too small. Nonsense! It fits! She said. The rest did the same, but none of their feet are the right size. Suddenly, the king of Trebleville and Prince Tritupling noticed 33 Rella singing. Your Majesty and Prince Tritupling, is that you guys? She hollered excited. The glass slipper fits! and 33rella and the King of Trouble Trouble and Prince Tubling lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story, Andrews Doers. And I've been debating on making the sequels. So if you want to see maybe someday 33rella 2, 33 Wishes Come True, something like that. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share on Internet Everything. Buy our merchandise at interneteverything.com. Take care. Bye.